Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pure Vita podcast. I am Erica Peters, your host and the owner of Pure Vita Wellness Studio. We are located right next to Ernest Brew Works on South Detroit Avenue, right off the Anthony Wayne Trail. If you're interested in coming and checking out the studio, we offer lots of different classes, yoga classes, meditation classes. We offer sound healing, which we have a very special guest today. And we also offer massage therapy and Reiki as well. So we have lots of different services, lots of different offerings here. And if you want to come check us out, we would love to have you in. And that being said, I said we have a very special guest when I said sound healing because we have a very brilliant musician with us today. Noah, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks. I'm super stoked to be here. Obviously, we're really good friends, so it's gonna be fun for us to get to chat like a little bit deeper about some of the stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I really have been loving doing these. Yeah, for those of you listening, Noah is my friend and fellow music lover, and I've been like loving doing these because it's just so uh I've been getting to know people like you said on a deeper level. It's literally just like a show dedicated to asking you questions. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's great.
You can
Um
interrogate me now, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, speaking of interrogation, Noah, for those of you who may not know you as well as I do, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and like your journey with music and how that began?
Yeah, absolutely. I also love the idea of starting a podcast with speaking of interrogation.
You should do
Right.
it.
But yeah, I mean, I'll start with just like a few things of where I'm at now as a musician before just dive right into like the like long stories. But yeah, where I'm at right now is I'm really lucky to play with a band called Keep It Casual. And it's actually a really cool story how I met these guys, and people love hearing this story because it's one of those like kind of like kismet stories or meant to be kind of things. It was like serendipitous in a way. At the time, when I first met these guys, I I ran into them at a show we were both playing, and it was kind of like it was like a fundraiser slash like promotional event for Poe Road Music Sanctuary. And I was just playing acoustic, and it was just about like half of the band doing an acoustic set as well. And so we all kind of hit it off and just kind of made fast friends with each other and realized like, oh, we're all like musicians and we're like minded and we're not crazy people like a lot of musicians kind of tend to be. We're crazy in the good ways, not in the other ways. And so
Yeah.
that was really fun. And shortly after that, I was putting together a band to do like a Grateful Dead tribute for New Year's at Howard's in Bowling Green. And this was something I wanted to do forever. I mean, I've got the Grateful Dead 13-point lightning bolt on my hand, and I am just like, I'm wearing my Terrapin Station hat today. So I always have loved the Grateful Dead. It's like a music that I feel a connection to musically and spiritually. And so this was something I was really excited about because I'd always played a ton of Dead music live in my own sets with my trio, but I had never done a whole show with like a big band doing all Grateful Dead for two whole sets. Like, I mean, we played for like 3 hours. Anyway,
Man.
without me getting too sidetracked, these guys answered the call and pretty much filled up the entire band. Like, I really had me and my drummer CJ, who's been with me for a few years now, and um, and Steve, the guy who he owned Howard's for a while and is still heavily involved. He runs all the music there, and he's a fantastic piano player. So I had like three guys, and I had a few people hitting me up saying, "Oh, maybe I'll get to do it." And then Dan, he's the other guitar player with me and Keep It Casual. He reached out and said, "Hey, how about like just the rest of Keep It Casual hops on and does it?" And I was like, "That sounds fantastic! Like, not only is this exciting, but I also really needed the help." And so we all played that show, and it was just like, I mean, we learned a lot of music, and some of the guys in the band didn't know any of these songs. So I really kind of cracked the whip for this. I was like, we're gonna learn like a bunch of music, and we're gonna play for hours. And they all did it, and we all
Wow.
supported each other and had a great time. And then after that show, they had like a they had a few members exit the band, and they were in need of a guitar player and a drummer. And so CJ and I had been doing stuff with my trio, but we were rotating out like bass players, keyboard players. It was just getting a little out of hand and hard to keep up with. Constantly bringing new people up to speed with all the original music and all the covers and interpretations we did. So it worked out really perfectly in a time where I was kind of frustrated with where I was getting at with music. And so we all came together and they actually ended up needing CJ and I to fill in for a gig on like really short notice. So the same way that I put them in the pressure, they put me and CJ in the pressure, and we
Yeah.
learned a bunch of songs and played a Village Idiot gig for like 3, 4 hours. And yeah, it's just cool. Like I love those guys, and it's been like a year and a half, I think, since I joined that band, and we've been writing music together and
That is awesome.
playing festivals. So that's like a big part of like what keeps me busy musically right now.
Yeah, man, I love that so much. Um, it's like so cool just to be in a band. It really is. Like there's nothing like it. Um, I've been craving, I mean, everything that you just said, all of it like lit up my heart because it's like I've been craving like that connection with other musicians in that way. I mean, I do sound healing, but I haven't like tapped into, I mean, I play my piano all the time, but I haven't tapped into like, what you just said where you have to like buckle down and learn some songs and like collaborate with people and get ready for your gigs and yeah, like all of that is you're so lucky to do, all of that and anybody can do it, right? But that's awesome that you're just like going after it and like you're so involved musically and yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Well, I'm
Um
really lucky, like you said, like, and it's something that's not missed on me. I try to remember all the time just how special it is that I'm getting to do this so frequently and with people that I just like love so much.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, if the band gets along, that's even better.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Oh, absolutely. I
y-
mean,
yeah. So, yeah, that's awesome. So you are involved in that band and you also like had your own band, right, too? And do
yeah, so with Keep It Casual, it's really like a group collective kind of experience. I mean, before I came in, Dan was like the only one writing songs, really. Like everybody kind of wrote and pieced together their songs, and I've been kind of helping to bring my own songs more recently as I've settled in. But yeah, um, so Keep It Casual is really like a group collective thing where we're like a band, right? And with my own band, I do it under the artist name Noe Mua. And with that band, it's a little bit different. Like I give anyone who plays in that ensemble like a lot of free creative freedom, but in that setting I am the sole band leader and songwriter. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a different kind of creative expression through that group. But I've been lucky with whenever I'm doing different lineups for the Noe Mua band, and there's been a ton of different lineups because I've been doing that project since like I don't know, 2016 or something. So it's gone through like a ton of different phases. It started when I was living in Chicago, and then I moved around a bunch of different places. And so there's been long periods where it wasn't doing a whole lot, and then very long periods where like just gigging out all the time, writing music all the time. And I've been lucky with that. Like I've had just like fantastic musicians share the stage with me under that name Noe Mua. I mean, like I mentioned, CJ and my good friend like Gary Black played with me for a long time. I also want to mention my friends Owen and Andy helped me record like that super lengthy album, The Road Ahead. That was like a whole endeavor. And then there was lots of people who had shorter stints in the band, but they're still meaningful. Like Hank, who plays with the Purple Boys and was like the keyboard player for Cactus Jack. He was in the band for a little bit, and also his fellow Purple Boys and Cactus Jack member Curry was in the band playing saxophone. So like it's just been cool like I reflect on different periods of that a lot. And right now I've kind of taken a break from really doing that project and Keep It Casual has been a big focus for me. But I know there'll come a time when I find the space to do some more creative things with
oh, for
uh with
sure.
that project.
Yeah, there's always seasons. There's definitely always seasons. What like when you are writing songs, like well for I mean, what made you name your album what you named it? Like
Yeah,
what inspires you when you're like writing songs? What inspires you to like name your songs or name your album? Yeah.
yeah. Well, with that album that I was talking about, it's called The Road Ahead. And when I wrote a lot of those songs, I was living on the road. I was living in a motorhome and just like traveling around. A really, it was a lemon, that motor. Like it was a 1986 or 87 Ford motorhome. So it wasn't fuel injection, it was carburetor. And like it was so bad. And like I was trying to work on it all the time. But anyway, that's a whole lone crazy story. Just kind of getting back around. I mean, from conversations we've had in the past, I go in like these weird, my mind's like a flowing river and I just
Oh, I
write
love
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But with the road ahead, I named it that because of the kind of travel I was doing when I wrote that music. And it was also like more of a spiritual meaning too, because it was um it was kind of about moving forward for me in a lot of ways. Because one thing that kind of set me off on my own path was as a teenager, I had this band, 6 Foot Roses, and we did a lot of awesome stuff together. And in that band, I was really just a guitar player. So in that band, when it kind of came time to, I guess, for the band to break up, I mean, all of us are still friends and keep in really good touch, but the band kind of had seen its course, right? So at that time, I decided I was going to step out and like be the songwriter and singer of my own project. So that was kind of part of the meaning too. And like so many of the songs on the album, I really am super proud of. Like there's like a story behind each song, really. And I mean, like it was just a period of my time where I was really young, I was really stupid, like making really exciting mistakes for myself, and it just triggered like a ton of music that I'm super proud and happy to have created. So
Heck yeah, yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, you I mean, you've gone through so much, and it's so cool that music has kind of been your staple based off of what I've known of you. And I mean, it's so cool that like even when bands break up, I mean, sometimes when a band goes through, even if it's just like a fizzle out or whatever, sometimes that also fizzles your own spark and you didn't, like you kept going. And now you've created this awesome piece of artwork that people can go listen to, right, on Spotify.
yeah, oh yeah, you can find it anywhere, and yeah, it's interesting because it is a long time ago that I released it. Like I don't know, it's probably like been 7 years or something,
Yeah.
but
So
it's definitely the most complete like piece that I ever listened because it's a concept album too, and it's super long. It's like 17 songs long.
yeah, that
And
is long.
yeah, and it's like what it's over an hour in runtime. Like it's a long thing. So, but it is intended to have like a theme throughout where if you listen to it front to back, a lot of the songs transition into each other, and it kind of tells the stories of that period of my life and everything
I
that was on my mind. So
Yeah, I love it when albums do that. Like, I mean, the most famous album, obviously, that does that is Dark Side of the Moon. And like, oh my God, like it's so impactful when the whole album just flows from one thing to the next. And
yeah,
you're
yeah. And
just,
you did a like Dark Side of the Moon yoga one time,
yeah.
right? Yeah, like a class.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
totally did do that. Yeah, I think it was on a new moon and yeah, we did a yoga flow to the entire Dark Side of the Moon album and it was so awesome.
Yeah.
Um and I actually just went and saw the Dark Side of the Moon symphony concert at the Toledo Art Museum. And it was the Toledo Symphony who did it. And it was awesome. I mean, they even got like the lady who sings the Great Gig in the Sky. They got a lady who sounds like exactly the same. She belted out those whatever they are. uh,
Yeah.
she just belted at it perfectly and like she had the whole crowd moved and that's the beautiful thing about music. It's just like, oh man, like you can just affect people in those ways. There's a book that I have. It's called The Healing Drum, and I forget. It's by this guy. His name's Yaya Diallo. He's African, so he has a crazy name. But uh he says in that book, he's just like, when you're, I'm trying to remember it like word for word, but um basically like it's basically what I just said, like you are affecting other people when you are playing your music, and just to be aware of that, and like, just to have that awareness, and then you can intentionally affect people if that's something that like calls to you, which obviously it calls to me as being practicing sound healing. And someone just walked by the studio. um
There's a visitor approaching.
yeah, like um so yeah, but it's just incredible. So how have you like how often have you performed that album, or have you?
Um, yeah, sorry, I had to mess with my cat for a minute
Yeah,
too.
no,
I was totally listening.
it's all good.
But like the road ahead, have I ever like performed it in sequence, you mean?
Mhm. Yeah, like front to back.
I don't think I have done that at an in-person show, but I do remember when we released the album, it was during COVID. And so we did do a live stream where we played it in full sequence,
Oh, cool.
which was amazing. But also at that time, it was like shortly after finishing the album, my drummer at the time, Owen, who by the way plays in this like really amazing band. They're called People in the Daytime, and they're just awesome in Cleveland. But anyway, he ended up having a really bad wrist injury, and tendonitis is what he developed. And because he was like when we were younger and stuff, he was a really hard hitting drummer,
Mm.
really powerful. Um, and so he had to like change the entire way that he played. And also, it really put him out of being able to drum for quite a while when it got to like the peak of the severity of it. And
Mm.
thankfully, he was eventually able to recover. But I remember when we were doing that live stream, he had to take a few breaks because he was in pain. And I remember telling him, like, hey, if you don't want to do this, like we don't have to do this. But he is such like a dedicated guy, and I know he could tell that I really wanted to, even though I could like accept if he wasn't capable of it. So I'm really proud of him that he did that, right? Like, and it's good to see. Like I remember when he finally like fully recovered and found a way to re-navigate playing his instrument. Just seeing like a friend of mine be able to come back fully to the thing that gives his life like so much excitement and purpose in a lot of ways. Because I mean, as musicians, we're more than musicians, but it's also like this thing that we define ourselves by and that we like process so much through. So like to lose that for a significant period of time can be really, really hard. Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I can't even imagine if like I broke my leg or something and I couldn't do yoga for like 5 months or 6 months,
yeah,
seven
yeah,
months. It's just like, I mean, and or if I broke my wrist and I couldn't, play music or, yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Like, um, the ways that if, when stuff like that happens, it's just like automatically it flips you around. And I mean, even the day to day too, right? Like the day that like I had to come in here today and like sit down and
right,
put this podcast on and put the effort into preparing a little bit for it. And I mean, all these little things, the day to day things that can also weigh you down. And like it's like, okay, we got to keep moving and we got to keep practicing and we got to keep tapping into our creativity and just keep going, even if our wrist is broken or we're feeling
right.
like we're feeling all these like heavy, whatever it is. Um, and yeah, I mean, at those times, well, I guess this would be a good place to ask you, like, do you have any like rituals or practices that help you like tap into your creativity, maybe like during like a harder time, or maybe during like a writer's block or something you know, like that.
I think so in a way, but music has always been really meditative for me, and it's always been like a spiritual kind of experience for me, even before I realized it, right? So I can remember when I first became like deeply, you could almost say like obsessed with playing the guitar and playing music, and I was like a a teenager. It was probably around like 14 years old, like, and I had been playing guitar for a few years already. But I remember, like, when you're a teenager, you kind of can get like a little depressed, and so like I would lock myself in my room and I would play for like 8 hours a day, like just non-stop. Like I didn't do anything else. Like it was day in, day out. And so that became, I guess, almost a ritual for me. And that was like super transformative, just for my entire life. So yeah, I guess for me,
That's
like
awesome.
the biggest thing is like if I'm really feeling low, which we all feel sometimes because life
Mm-hmm.
moves at this unrelenting pace and we get so much information thrown at us, and it's like just processing it all sometimes is a lot on its own. So when I'm in those moments where I just feel burnt out, I just need to take myself to an instrument, whether it's like
Mm-hmm.
that little steel tone drum that I've played sometimes at the yoga studio, or my guitar, or like a drum or something. Like as long as I can bring myself to the instrument, that's the hard part sometimes, right? But if I can do that, like once I start playing, it's pretty much like, there might be a minute or two where I'm still like getting that mind fog to go away. But once I get there, like it's as good as meditating for
Yeah.
me. And it like nothing can really pull me away from that state unless it's something urgent, or I'm like, okay, well, I need to do this or that,
Right.
like adult responsibilities.
God dang it.
Right, I know, yeah. I was doing a thing and it was so fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, if only. Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, responsibilities can really like hinder the creative flow for sure.
yeah,
I've been feeling, I mean, it's I laugh at it, but it is like real. It's so real. And like I myself have been on like in my own journey right now where it's like I'm kind of bored with some of the stuff I'm doing at the studio. I'm kind of bored with some of the sound healing things I'm doing. And it's like I gotta like it's because I'm like bogged down, like you're saying, by all these responsibilities or whatever. And it's just like, okay, time to tap back into the creative flow, tap back into like what sparks me again and things like that. And yeah, I just feel like uh it's yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing when like you can just pick an instrument up and either a piano, guitar, whatever it is, and it's just like I'm like trying to figure out the process of what it really is, of what's actually happening, because you said it's like meditating. And it is. It totally is. Like there's so many ways to meditate, dancing, playing music, singing, sitting there on a cushion if you want to. But it totally is meditation. And it's just, I guess it's just a focus of something that's in front of you, whether it's your breath, sitting there focusing on your breath, or sitting there focusing on your music and your chords and your strings, and really even like taking the time to like feel the strings under your fingers and feel the piano keys under your fingers, or um I don't and the instrument almost becomes an extension of yourself, and it's just like, yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so you also mentioned that we had a chance to host a yoga and live music session together, which have been such beautiful offerings. I can't wait to do more. But I want to know what that experience has been like for you, just the couple that we've done so far.
yeah. That experience is always really awesome because I love the style that you have of leading, yoga practice. And so to be able to add whatever I can to that through the healing music is just like a special and cool thing. And I've done things of that nature before, but until we had met, it had been kind of out of my life to, provide, I guess, what you would call like formal healing music, because like I consider all music to be deeply healing and spiritual, and I always go about it that way when I'm improvising, especially. But so this is like really special when we get to do these sessions because I I feel like every time we've done them, everybody in the class walks away just looking so refreshed, and it's like a good feeling. It's like, hey,
It
I had a
is.
part in that, like it feels like I brought some value and I could do it in a way where It felt really fulfilling, right? And for me, it's interesting because it's like a different kind of focus when we're doing those.
It is.
Yeah, like, and it was funny because one time I just like I think I had set things up poorly, so I had like really bad posture the whole time. I think I remember telling this, and I was like, "Oh man, my back hurts." Like everybody else was walking out feeling so relaxed, and I
Yeah,
was
and
like hunched over my drum the whole time.
yeah, I
So
do
that
remember.
that time was hilarious for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was
I
like,
do.
dude, this feels unfair. There's an imbalance this time.
Right.
But thankfully, that was only once. That was only once.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, everybody was like stretching, doing yoga, and you're just sitting there hunched over. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like hurting yourself to help others. But sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, you totally like, you know, um, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Did we literally meet because you called Pura Vida? Was that what
Yeah, I
happened?
did. Yeah. I
Yeah.
called and I just said, hey, like I have some experience with healing music and I want to work with a yoga studio to like see what that collaboration would look like. I wonder if I talked to you initially. I feel like I did.
Yeah, I think it was me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just remember that phone call, like that was totally divine intervention. I have no doubt in my mind because like at the same time that you called, which has been like a couple years ago now, um, you I was also thinking like the same thing, like I really want to start collaborating with a musician. I want to like do, I mean, even the yoga and light music sessions, I want to like do healing music together with somebody. And because for me, like with my ADHD and all my mental health things, like I'm so much better when it's actually called body doubling. Have you ever heard of that?
Okay. I don't think I have, no.
Um, it's yeah, it's like become this thing now because people have, you just know if you work better by yourself or with others. And I'm one of those people who definitely works better like if I have that person in front of me who like I can bounce off of and create with. And you had called in and I was like, yes, 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 yes. Like I was so excited and
Yeah, I was excited too because before I called you, I had called a few other places and they were all kind of like, like maybe, like, and they would like give me another number to call and then I would never, or like take my number and I would never hear anything.
yeah.
So, but I was determined to want to do it because I knew it was a good idea. And I knew like I was like, if I just find someone who would trust me on this, it'll be like an awesome thing to be able to do. So,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And we gotta definitely get that like back on track going
yes,
again.
yeah.
And that would be awesome if we could, make some cool things happen. So keep on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it has been so good like collaborating with you and people really do walk out, like you said, so refreshed, like even I do. And you've even said like you've almost fallen asleep because you're like
Yeah.
relaxing yourself through your own music and
Yeah, when we
like
do Shavasana, it's like everything's really quiet except for just like the very soft, because I get it really soft at the end. And I'm like dozing off a little bit. And I'm like, I kind of like, I don't want to like shock myself awake, but just ease myself so I can remain nice and
nice and
calm.
calm.
Yeah, because like, about me that like I get very like excited about music. So sometimes in my guitar playing, that comes out as this really like
Yeah.
like spastic thing, and I'm just like spraying like notes into like the musical paint canvas. It's like
Yeah.
it's like I'm not using a paintbrush anymore. Like I'm using like a paint gun, and it's just like
Yeah.
and people like that at like a jam band rock show,
Oh, for sure.
but they don't want to hear that at yoga with
Right.
healing music. It's like
Right.
that requires the careful paintbrush.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like more meticulous. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's still like it's
It's
very like loose. I don't go in, and you know this, like I don't go in with like a plan of what I'm gonna play.
right.
Like I have that like effect pedal that just creates like an infinite sustain
Mhm.
from whatever I want to play, and I use that as like the basis to just like add color over. And there's even sometimes where I just let that like sustaining note because it takes all the guitar like the attack off of the guitar if I time it correctly. So then you just get this like very calming frequency, And I found this interesting thing that the longer you hear the same chord or group of frequencies, your ear begins to hear like all the layered harmonics like more deeply, right?
Hmm.
And so it like develops to be even more like peaceful and more interesting to the ear if you just leave like either one note or one small group of notes. um and it's true on any instrument. I think they call it like the n harmonic series.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you play a single note on a guitar or a piano or a saxophone, every note is a chord with like, and it's interesting because different instruments have a different like harmonic series within each of these individual notes. So like if one guitar is built differently, or tuned different, like all these different things kind of like equate to make this like cool like concoction of sounds. I don't know. I find that really fascinating. Like
Oh, I do too. I mean, if you hit the gong in here,
yeah,
all the undertones and overtones and middle tones and higher tones and like
yeah, yeah,
all the tones that come out of just one hit of the gong. And then it's like you hit it again and it's like a whole nother set of tones that are just like coming out and like it's like a 3D I mean it is a 3D experience, but it's like a maybe a 4D experience even. It's just like all these tones are just like just from one strike of a guitar string or one hit of a gong or one pressing down of a key on the piano. It's like all these different tones are just swirling around you just by doing that. And it's pretty crazy, yeah, when you
right.
think about it for a minute. But yeah, yeah, and it is wild how it affects you and how it affects our brain. And it's so cool. They've done like functional MRIs now where like they'll put on functional MRI machines and they'll have people go in them and then they'll play certain frequencies and they'll see what parts of the brain are lit up based on these frequencies that are playing. And it's just really cool to like have that visual image of how music is actually affecting us and what it's doing to our minds and our bodies and where it's lighting us up. And it's like we can already feel it, but it's just cool to have like that visual imaging of it. And yeah, so it's pretty incredible. And it's cool how now like music is literally like in the medical field because of this. It's like it's a there's you have to, go through medical schooling to become a music therapist, which,
Yeah.
whatever. But like it's I think like it's cool too though at the same time where it's like, okay, music is actually being recognized as this like healing modality that it always has been. And it's this universal language that connects everybody no matter like what linguistic language you speak, and like you can pretty much relate through music like no matter where you are in the world. And I remember when I lived in Costa Rica, like I mean I already love the Latin language so much, in and of itself I think it sounds like music, but it's just like being down there, nobody that I was around, I mean I was not in a very touristy part, and really like nobody that I was around spoke English, and they could barely even say like hello or anything. And but like, I remember the first night I was down there, I cried because of that. And I was like, oh my God, I don't, what did I do to myself, And, and then like by the third night, I was like dancing with everybody and like celebrating with all this Latin music, and everybody's just like, like it didn't matter that I couldn't say hello. We were just like,
Yeah, yeah.
music connected us instantly. It was instantaneous, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so but yeah, and it's cool too how music, it draws just like it draws people together, and just like having a band. And but yeah. So I mean, you've been in multiple different groups, and you're in Keep It Casual now, and you do Noah Imua, and I was wondering like does that ever feel overwhelming? Like, do you get overwhelmed with everything that you're doing? I mean, we kind of talked a little bit before the podcast started where, you said you have 100 different songs in the background of your mind
Yeah, yeah.
that haven't necessarily come out yet. Um, or like, I mean, I'm sure it does both, but like, does it fuel you? Does it like, get you going or? Yeah,
Oh
like how is
yeah,
it being
yeah.
involved in multiple because and as musicians, I feel like that's just how it is.
Yeah, we get excited and we start a million things.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second too. I just lost power in this room. It's crazy. So I'm gonna unplug something.
What?
Just in case. I don't know. It's like the energy like from our conversation or something. I don't know.
That's wild.
Oh, I fixed it. Okay, cool.
Yay.
Yeah, I think my cat was just being mischievous and unplugged my power strip. So, yeah, he's making appearances in more way than one. I don't know. It's crazy with him. He gets bored sometimes and he knows, like, he's a really smart cat. So he knows the things he shouldn't be doing. Like,
Uh-huh.
because he listens. Like, he knows his name and, like, he does, like, I don't know. He does pretty well for me. But anyway, to get back to the question, like,
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
now you're curious about my
yeah.
cat, right?
No, yeah, go
Actually,
ahead.
but I do have a crazy story about him. Like, I might
Let's
have
hear
told
it.
you before. Like, so I got him when I was living in Arizona and kind of touching back on like the motorhome thing. I got basically stuck in Arizona because my motorhome broke down there and I ended up living there for like a year, which was like awesome. But that's a whole other story. But with Archer, my cat, he was given to me by like a coworker, right? So they found him and his sister. It was the two of them, like in a dumpster. Like he's a dumpster cat, you know. So he's always been scrappy because he started out as a little street cat. And I actually like I was dating this girl at the time, and she wanted the cat, and I actually didn't want him at the time because I was like, look, I feel like I'm trying to like I was struggling to take care of anything at the time. So I was like, I don't want to be responsible for this little dude who's so cute and fuzzy and he's also a
Yeah.
cuddly little cat and he likes to play. And then the longer I thought about it, I was like, I want this cat. And so he just like became my best little buddy. And he trapped like after I got the motorhome up and running, he traveled with me like across the country. Like he got to see all these different places, especially out west. And he like really did well with it. I remember like I have this great picture of me driving the motorhome and Archer's sitting at my lap and he's like looking right at the camera and he looks so cool. Like
Oh.
because it's like that's like Americana. Like that's my
Yeah.
American dream. It's not like the 9 to 5 or any of this stuff. My American dream is living in a motorhome, driving it down the freeway with a cat in my lap and being
Yeah,
like,
same.
right, right. And like this is what the beatniks and the merry pranksters fought for. But yeah, so and then eventually that motorhome broke down again because it just was like destined for that. It was like I was
Right.
trying to put a round peg in a square or a square hole.
Yeah.
Like and the universe was just telling me, dude, give it up. Like it's not
Yeah.
happening. You had a good run. Like go home.
Right.
Tuck your tail between your legs, stay with mom and dad for a little bit, and fix it up. And I didn't
Yep.
want to. And well, really, I was trying to get back so I could do exactly that. And on the way, it broke down, got a rental car, left behind like almost all of my earthly possessions.
Wow.
Yeah, like I mean, because I was that confident. I was so young and like I felt so invincible that I
Right.
thought this is gonna work out. Like all my things were in that motorhome because that was my house. Like
Right.
so, it breaks down, get the rental car, and I'm like, all right, Archer, like we got to make it back home. He slips out of the car, in Indiana, I think. And I get a few hours down the road before I realize he's like not in the car.
Oh God.
And it's this whole like, oh my God,
Gut
like
wrenching.
so horrible, like seriously horrible.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
so, because I mean, at that point, I had spent so much time with this little cat, and just to keep going,
Yeah,
because I love him so much, like
it's your son.
yeah, it is my son. I used to always say that when he would make me mad. I would say, "You're my only son,"
Yeah.
and he would get all like, "Ooh." But yeah. Wait. There was something I was gonna say too. Oh, he was so well trained back then too. So we're living out in the desert, and I got him trained on a leash really well, right? And I would take him on these hikes and I would take him all around. And after we got good at the leash, I thought, you know what? I think I can take the leash off. So I would take him through these hikes, like at the foothills of mountains, and like we're like deep out in the middle of nowhere. And he would walk right by my side. Like it was crazy. People don't even believe me. I also had him trained where, because I would let him out, side of the motorhome, and he would go wander around. And if he got too far, I would whistle really loud, and he would come running back, and he would dive inside the motorhome and be
Yeah.
like panting from how much he was running, you know. So anyway, I lose him
Aw.
in Indiana, right? And we stayed a few extra nights, and this was like killing me financially, you know, because
Yeah.
the rental cars are super expensive, like all this stuff. Um, and so eventually we had to decide like, okay, well, you know,
Oh,
this
yeah.
sucks. Like I'm gonna have to go home, and I felt guilty because like I let him escape out of the car because he was just scared, like
Right.
because like you know he's in the motorhome when it breaks down. We cram him in this rental car that's all small, and
Right.
anyway, so but there is a happy ending, and it took weeks before like I put up all these like I put up flyers and I put up posts on Facebook in the town that we lost him in, and eventually someone reached out on Facebook, and it had been almost a month. So at that point, I had like given up. I was like, this is really sad, and I'm gonna think about this forever,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know?
the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they said, I think I have your cat. And this had happened a few times, like, and it was never him. So I was like, I didn't really have my hopes up. And I was like, can you
Yeah.
please like send a picture of him? And he had his collar with his name tag, and he was so small because he had lost all this weight.
Oh.
And they were like, yeah, he's like pretty squirrely, like he's, you know, he seems like he's had a rough time. And when I went, I get emotional talking about it.
Yeah,
But
it's so
I
sad.
remember when I picked him up, he curled up in my lap while I was driving, just like in that picture in the motorhome, and he fell asleep like right away. Like it was like he
Oh.
finally let it go. And I got him home and I fed him and I got him all pumped up again. And ever
Oh.
since, like I was like, I'm never gonna let something happen to him again because he's just the best cat, you know.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Isn't that
Oh,
crazy though?
it is insane. It is insane.
Right?
You did tell me that we were, yeah, you actually recently told me this story.
Okay, yeah.
And like, oh my God, it is freaking insane that like, I mean, obviously Archer was meant to be with you and vice versa.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. He's like my spirit
no,
cat. Yeah.
yeah, no doubt, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like,
Right.
and
You just
now
can't.
like,
Yeah.
where is he? We have to have him have an appearance
Okay. I'll grab him. I'll grab
so
him. I'll grab him.
people, yeah. Hi, buddy. You're,
He has to be in the right mood for me to hold him. So I was like, I gotta make this quick.
yeah, let's hurry
Yeah.
up.
Right.
It's so
He'll.
funny. As soon as you brought, oh, well, maybe he heard me say, hi, buddy. But Luca
Uh-huh.
came over.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
are you talking to another animal?
Oh, right. Right. He knows what's up. He's a
Oh,
smart
yeah.
puppers. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's awesome. I absolutely love that story so much.
Yeah, it was totally unrelated to anything else we were talking
Oh,
about.
yeah, but it's so great. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was meant to happen.
Right, right.
But well, I know we had a few topics we want to hit on. Let's hit on real quick because we will have a podcast interview with Noah's mom. Noah, you and your mom have um a essential oil aromatherapy business, and we sell those oils here at Pure Vita. But do you wanna woo woo? So if you need some essential oils, come get them. They have the best names ever.
Yeah, yeah.
The products. But do you want to just mention, maybe how you got started with that and or, just a little few words about wellness?
Yeah, absolutely. So wellness is like a business that my mom started, and she actually has two businesses of her own. So my mom is super inspiring to me and a really good mentor. Um, and so it kind of started like with her work in the autism field in a lot of ways and wanting to find tools that would help regulate like her clients and friends that she would work with. And she started like getting into the essential oils and seeing that they could be really helpful. And you know, she would use those along with other things like fidgets are a really good thing for autistics as well. So like I've got like a grab bag of fidgets that like someone else who I would consider to be, I guess, a form of a mentor, although I don't know her as well. In the autism field for me, had just given me. She had a bunch of extra fidgets. She was like, "Take this whole bag." I was like,
That's
"Oh, awesome."
awesome.
Or wait, actually, I misremembered. My mom gave me that bag, but Jenna was the one who told me I need to have one. She was like, "This is essential to what you do," you know. So anyway,
Yeah.
now I'm getting tangented like I always do, but wellness is like, yeah, it's based on like the whole business is based on providing like natural regulation tools for all types of people. Like you could have a sensory processing disorder, and most people will find like a lot of benefit if that is you or one of your loved ones. Or it just could be for like everyday neurotypical people as well. Like because we all get dysregulated, we all get stressed out, and we never claim that any of our products are a cure all. Like the last thing we want to do is contribute to like I'll use the term like woo woo, right? So
Right.
like these spiritual ideas can be really great as long as you're not manipulating them for a profit or like convincing people of things that could be dangerous thought ideas, right? Because
Yeah.
like everything when it's taken to an extreme can be I guess harmful or misleading. So that's kind of our whole idea, right? Is that like it's not a cure all. We don't make any promises. It's something that you can try, and we do find that for most people it has a positive effect in that it can improve your mood. There are health benefits to essential oils as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of essential oils that can help with digestion, headaches, like all this stuff. So I really like what we do with wellness, and it's something I'm really happy to do with my mom. So yeah, I don't know, it's really cool, and they
I
are at Pure Vita, so
yeah.
keep the
Awesome.
plugs going,
Yeah,
right?
keep them going. It's all
Yeah,
good, shameless.
that's right.
Um, but yeah, they really are awesome products. I have one on my desk, and um that I had one of the roll-ons on my desk. You had given me one of your well, I don't think this is a product anymore, but one of your guys' coloring books, and it came with the roll-on, and I have kept that roll-on my desk, and I'll use it
Yeah.
when I'm like speaking of neurotypical people, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sitting here fidgeting with
Right,
my
right, right,
um
right.
I will use it when I'm like I cannot like focus, and it's just like, I'll put the little roll on my wrist and I'll sniff, like just take a few whiffs, and it's just like there's something that even if like whatever's happening, like actually scientifically, I don't know exactly, but whatever, it even just like brings you back to the present moment where it's just, you know, you're just like, you take a whiff of something and it's just like, oh, whoa, you're like more alert all of a sudden. And like you can kind of redirect your brain just simply
Yeah.
by doing that. Like, yeah, so it's pretty cool. I know, like, though it does like work with your limbic system, right? And
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I was messing with you. I don't know if you saw, but I got the same dongle adapter.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, it definitely like my mom knows more about this stuff. Like I help in a lot of ways with the business, but she like creates all of our blends and is the studied member of our team. Like the third member of our team is actually my aunt Dawn, and she really really helps. Like she is a rock star. um so she plays a huge role in what we do too, and I can't really ever talk about what we do with wellness without thanking her, because it's just like, yeah, it's awesome. She's also like a really great role model too. um
that's awesome.
so yeah, but yeah, definitely like it works with your limbic system, and we know also that scents can like smelling certain scents can evoke like really powerful memories for us as well. Like so like yeah, it definitely interests me a lot. And
Yeah, it is interesting.
yeah, and also you mentioned the coloring books. That is something we'll bring back at some point. We kind of made the decision recently to pare down some of our product line, because so the way that my mom's like brain works is like pretty similar to mine, right? And I mean, where am I going to get it from?
Right.
So she gets like a ton of ideas and she gets really excited. And part of my job is to help her like refine those ideas to a point where it can be like marketable, right?
Yeah.
So before like I got more involved, there was like we had so many products, Erica. Like it was crazy. Like, and they were all good. They were all
Yeah.
really good products. The problem was that we hadn't like established the business enough like to be able to pitch all these products to a customer. Be like, well, if you want this, here's a million options. If you want this, here's a million options. so we did make the decision. It's been a really good one. Like, it's been helping us with the success with the business. Um, because obviously, we want the business to be successful. We want to be able to reach
Absolutely.
people and help families. Like I said, we want to help people who are neurodivergent, and we want to help people who are neurotypical. Like everybody's deserving of caring for themselves.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, I love it. Well, I will be interviewing Noah's mom here soon, so take a peek out for that podcast episode, everybody. Noah, to wrap things up, I want to know, are there any like upcoming projects you're excited about? It can be music related or anything related. And yeah, is there anything like happening soon? Are you getting ready to collaborate with anyone or yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff I'm pretty excited about, to be honest. With the band, like people can go to like Keep It Casual as a website. I can't remember if it's keepitcasual.com or dudekeepitcasual.com. It's one of the two, and you can go check it out. Like we put all of our upcoming shows on there, and Dan did a really good job building that website. Like, I mean, and I'll stop and say really quick because I've been talking a lot about Keep It Casual. Dan does so much. Like we call him Dan the man with the master plan, you know? And I actually got him this cup that said, what would Dan do? Like, because like
Aw.
Dan really like,
Yeah,
I mean, he was doing all this stuff before me and CJ joined. And when me and CJ joined, I think it like ignited everybody's passion, like because me and
yeah,
CJ were excited, they were excited. It's like this new thing. So I've seen him like even do more and more. So again, just got to say like if Dan ever watches this, thank you, Dan. I thank him all the time, but can't do it enough. So yeah, keep it casual. Like you go on our Instagram, Facebook, website, you'll see all the dates coming up, and we're doing a lot of cool stuff. And I can't talk enough about that because it's just so cool to get to do that. But another thing that I'm doing, because like I mentioned, my mom works in the autism field, and that's something I've been stepping into. Um, I've had a lot of great mentorship for that, so I've been really lucky, and like I've been working on my education as well a lot. Like I took a pretty thorough course, and I'm going to be taking some more pretty soon. So yeah, I'm working for another company called Autistically Inclined, and yeah, that's been fantastic. And my mom and I are going to start doing these workshops really soon, like in partnership with Autistically Inclined. So we're really excited about this.
awesome.
Like they're going to be like small group type of workshops, and we work with like spellers, right? So we help autistic individuals who have limited or potentially no speech capabilities to
Mm,
be able to have alternative means of communication, which is like huge, right?
yeah.
So we will be like bringing like probably like 2 to 4 families in at a time, just depending on how it grows. We're starting with like two at a time, and they're going to get to do these like really cool workshops where like a parent and their child will get to do like some spelling together. They'll do some spelling with me and my mom, so they can kind of see like um, what it looks like, right? And then they'll
Yeah.
do some spelling themselves, because the idea that we kind of have is we want to get people set up to be the communication partner for their own children. Um,
Mm,
and because it's an intimidating thing to start, but
yeah.
yeah, it's like yeah, there's like um there's some great like explanations like Julie Sando, she's the owner of Autistically Inclined. Like she runs that business uh, that I've been working for now, and so she has like a lot of great content that you can find where she explains everything. Because if I were to explain it now, it would be like another half hour, I think.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I hear you.
but yeah, just to keep it short, that's something I'm really excited about. And I've been doing more work a little bit more behind the scenes in this field. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to step out and do something a little more like personal, and to
Y-
do it with my mom is going to be just really cool. So
Yeah, there's nothing better than that. That is so awesome. Like, yes, thank you for, doing that and bringing that help into the world through helping autistic people. And yeah, it's awesome. It's so awesome. And that work, I'm sure, is probably some of the most fulfilling and and not that the other work isn't, but yeah. So thank you so much for doing that. I love it. I love it. Um
yeah, that's awesome.
so just to end, well, first, what Where can people find you? I know you said either Dude Keep It Casual or keepitcasual.com, which when we figure that out, we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, that people can find like keep it casual on social media really easy. It's all lowercase letters with it's the words are all crammed together. There's no spaces. So yeah, keep it casual is around, and like I have a personal Instagram. It's Noah Imua Music, where like I said, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break for the time being from doing like any like really serious projects with that, but I still post a lot on there. Like I post about the guitar that I'm building with my grandpa. I post about like I'll post like random covers and songs. Like I did a cover of Steve's Lava Chicken. It's a song from the Minecraft movie. Like it's like really goofy. So there's like memes and stuff that I make with my guitar, and so if people like kind of silly stuff, they can do that. And then there's the wellness boutique too. Like that's a problem. I do so many things. It's like just trying to plug it all. It's like annoying.
Right.
It's annoying. I'm annoying, and I love it about myself.
Yes, I love it too because I'm the same way.
Right, right. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Um, well, do you have any like last words for maybe fellow creatives or musicians or healers or anybody really who wants to maybe express themselves more fully or yeah.
Well, I would just say if there's anybody listening who also made it this far with us, I would say if you are wanting to do something, the best thing you can do is just take the first step. It's the scariest step. And um, I have found that if you're just authentically yourself, it doesn't matter. Because if you can do that, you don't have to care what anybody else thinks. Like I stopped caring so long ago, and ever since I did that, I find that I'm happier and that the people around me get to see a more authentic version of me, which means if they like me and they want to spend more time with me, it's a real connection. And if they don't, see ya.
Yep.
So that's what I'll say to people who, if you're not doing the thing you want to do yet, just try that out. And then if you're already doing it, keep doing it. And I'm sure you're doing an awesome job.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I love that. Yeah, that's one thing too I've been thinking about lately. I mentioned earlier how I've been getting a little bored with some of the things I'm doing at Pura Vida, and it's like it's time to spice it up a little bit. It's these things that not necessarily caring what other people might think. It's just like I want to show myself what I can
Yeah.
do. Like what can I just want to show myself what I can do, and so I love that. Yeah, just allowing yourself to be authentic and knowing that that changes, from time to time.
Yeah.
And so yeah, thank you for your wisdom, Noah, and thank you um so much for being here and just sharing your heart and sharing your cat story and sharing just sharing your musician journey. And obviously thank you too for just, our journey together. And I'm so grateful that we met and that you called in one day and now we're on a podcast together. So I hope to continue collaborating with you. Um, and yeah, and we'll have all the links to where you can find Noah in the show notes. And maybe I'll even put a little clip of your music in here at the end. If
Oh
you
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
There's
So I'll
tons of
also
stuff to pick from.
all right, cool. Alrighty, well, thank you everyone for listening. If you've gotten this far, I love you, and I think that you're awesome. And also, you can catch us every Friday here at Pure Vita for a new podcast episode.